Welcome back to Marvel Mondays. I am Mike.
And I am Brandon.
So, some interesting stuff that kind of came out this week. There's been a lot more, and I haven't seen any on TV, but I've seen
hmm
people putting things on TV that were online.
hmm
Um, so that's kind of been
You mean people
interesting.
putting things online that were on TV?
Yeah, I said it the other way around. Yeah,
Yeah.
like commercials,
hmm
things that were on TV, meaning
Yeah,
commercials.
I haven't seen
Um,
any brand new day like TV commercials
right.
yet,
But I've
but they're
seen people.
popping up on like Twitter and Instagram and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, it's weird. It's weird
Yeah.
because I watch TV, so I would think I would see one, but I haven't seen one.
Yeah.
Um, but there's been some like things in some of those that have been. I wouldn't say anything like earth-shatteringly different than what was in the trailer, but like one thing that caught my eye in the one was there's that one where it's Ned saying something about I'm not one of those weirdos or something, and oh no, he's looking at his Spidey tracker and he says basically it says he's here and he's in their apartment or whatever,
hmm
and uh, he says something like I'm not one of those weirdos or something, and MJ says he's a little weird, which is strange to me because in one of the other trailers that same kind of dialogue happens, but it's Peter that's there. So what that had me wondering is this a little bit of a callback to the scene in or what was supposed to be the scene, I guess, in Homecoming where he goes to that party at I don't remember the girl's name in the girl,
hmm
his love interest in Homecoming, but
hmm
he's at that party at her house and he's supposed to he goes as Peter and he's supposed to show up as Spider-Man too. I wonder,
hmm
is that kind of because it kind of looked like it was maybe the same party that they were at, but suddenly
hmm
he's there as Spider-Man. I was wondering about that. What do you think of that?
Yeah, maybe that'll be what it ends up being. I also wonder maybe that's the situation where it's like uh, at that party, there's a threat. Remember, there was that whole thing about that I told you where there was that motorcycle helmet at the party. People were
Right,
saying it could be Boomerang, and
right,
that he's the like MJ's love interest, her new love interest.
right,
Maybe it's like something
right.
like that. That something happens there, and Peter needs to sneak away to be Spider-Man, and like
Right.
does something. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, the other thing I
I don't know
noticed with
how
some
he would just like appear, like what the
yeah, well
storyline there would
that's
be,
it.
you know.
I mean, unless it's like they're talking about Spider-Man a bunch and he's like, "Yeah, well, I got to go," and then he comes back as Spider-Man, or maybe he shows up originally as Spider-Man and then comes back as Peter.
As
I don't
Peter,
know.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But the other thing in those that had me thinking was, there's that whole scene where it's whoever is body jumping, talking through all those different people, and the one says something about hey Spidey, you okay? You look like or wait, you get oh no, he says Spidey, you okay? You get that monster out of you,
hmm
and I was trying to think like, well, okay, at what point in the movie is this? Because get that monster out of you, right? Like
hmm
that suggests to me the whole idea of him becoming Man Spider, which a lot of people have really been invested in. A lot of the people that I see online have been really invested in. No, he's going to be Man Spider.
hmm
That tells me that's not true,
hmm
because if that was true, he wouldn't be walking down the street, as Spider
hmm
Man after
hmm
that, at a point that somebody would say to him, you get that monster out of you. So
Yeah.
it leads me to think that it's either it is Venom or the symbiote,
hmm
or I don't know, something else.
Yeah. I feel like that's the only option, right? Is that it's the whole symbiote, uh, the storyline. Like
Yeah,
that would be the only. You're talking about Spider-Man, and you're saying he has a monster inside of him. What
yeah. I
else is it
mean,
going to be? You know.
right, right.
So
If
there
he's
was,
not transitioned into Man Spider, what else is it?
yeah. have you seen the people noticing that Zendaya is doing like in a lot of the promo stuff, like the interviews and that, she's been wearing stuff where it's been all black and then a white spider. And then there
Yeah.
was the one thing where it was Tom Holland talking. It was like the two of them being interviewed, and there was the interviewer was saying something about like the that nobody remembers Peter Parker, and Tom Holland was like, "Well, one person does," and
Yeah.
like Zendaya was trying to correct him and be
Right.
like, "Well, no, they remember Spider-Man, but not Peter Parker." And he
Right.
was like, "No, like there's only one person remembers that he's Peter Parker."
Right.
And she was like trying to almost correct it, and then she just kind of like
Yeah.
gave up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
She was
don't
trying to not have him spoil
have
it,
it be a
basically.
spoiler. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it made me think though, like, so if he's saying that there is one person, like the comics say that that's Hulk, and Hulk's
Right.
gonna be in it, but
Right.
I don't think that it's Hulk.
Yeah. I
I
don't think
almost
that.
think if we're assuming that what's her name, Sadie Sink is Jean Grey,
Right.
if she can't get into, if she can't mind control Peter, I wonder if she's still able to get into Peter's head, and if she's able to then see, like,
Right.
she gets into Spider-Man's head, sees he's Peter Parker. That's the whole MJ connection of the maybe I'll go see MJ.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's like confirming that it's Jean Grey who knows that Peter's Spider-Man,
Yeah.
you
That
know,
that makes
or
that
maybe
makes
Punisher, but
that
Punisher
makes
would be a
well,
weird, like he would have to have told Punisher at that point, right?
right. Right. But also, like, it's weird that they would be working together on anything and Punisher wouldn't know who he was because, like,
Hmm.
when Punisher was in Daredevil, like, he knew that Daredevil was Matt Murdock. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or he
yeah.
came to know, I
There
guess.
was that whole scene in the courtroom where it was like he connected the dots.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess he didn't originally know that, so that excuse me, that could be true. Yeah, yeah. That's definitely a possibility. The other thing, this
But
is a
then
really weird one.
him helping MJ though, like um, where like he brings MJ to Frank, like
Right.
you
Yeah,
know, you would
yeah. It kind
assume
of
that at
feels
that point
like
he knows why MJ would be important to him.
right, right. Like he's I don't know, talk to him about it or. But the
Yeah.
other here's another one though, and this was a theory that I saw somebody posted a video online, and I there's no possibility of this. Like I said last week how I think it's a possibility that Sadie Sink's character, if it is Jean Grey, is not from the 616 universe. It's somebody that came over some other way.
Hmm.
This person theorized that um, Jean Grey, that Sadie Sink's character was a different character who we haven't technically seen in 616 yet, who is a redhead. Who can you think they think it might be? It's totally wrong, by the way. There's no way it's true, but
I have no idea.
Mary Jane. I'm like,
Yeah, no, that
that
would be weird.
doesn't
That would be
make
weird.
any sense at all. Like that
Yeah,
makes
no,
no
that'd
sense.
be weird because they established that like she's a variant because it's
Yeah,
Michelle Jones with Watson, so it's
right.
still like yeah,
Yeah, it's just a variant, right? Yeah,
yeah.
and yeah, when I read that one or saw that one, it was a video that somebody posted, and they were really convinced that that's what it was, and I'm like, that first of all, but she's got powers, like,
Hmm.
so I don't know if there's a precedent for that.
Yeah,
Um,
and even if you're
yeah,
saying
so I
like,
thought
well,
that
we
was a
don't
weird one.
know that she has powers, why would she be showing up in Secret Wars?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
would be
Well,
the purpose that Frank is protecting her? Because if
yeah,
you're saying like, oh, they want to go back to the comics because of Mary Jane,
yeah,
like then they would probably make it the Mary Jane character of like she's a wanting to be this like Broadway actress
right,
and singer
right.
and you know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there's been like there was something I saw today that I think was real that was like some poster art of Sadie Sink's character in like, what looked like honestly what looked like it would be a Jean Grey, X-Men type outfit. Now whether
Mm.
that it looked like official thing, but you can't tell anymore. Um so who knows, but
I did hear though a thing that said they don't her character won't reveal their name until the end of the movie.
oh, that's interesting. That's
Yeah,
interesting. So we'll just be assuming and wondering until then, I guess. I mean,
yeah.
it's kind of weird because at this point, like, they had to know with the actress that everybody would be speculating. I mean, one of the things I have heard is there's really no like precedent for having that character associated to Spider-Man. So
Hmm.
that could be part
That's
of
the
why,
only thing that I've heard is the whole thing of it was the I think it was the 90s Spider-Man
Mhm.
cartoon. They couldn't have the X-Men in it because of rights issues.
Right,
And so they wanted to have Jean Grey as Phoenix Force in it, but they
right.
couldn't, so that's why they created the Firestar character.
Oh, right.
And they ended
So
up
maybe
having that become an actual character in Marvel Comics, but that first appearance was in the animated Spider-Man.
got you.
So,
Couple of other things that I read though, and this is a really good point that like Hulk being in this, Banner slash Hulk being in this is
hmm,
not just to have, oh, we want to have an Avengers character in it. There's a purpose to his character being in it, and they've been suggesting that it might be that because if you think of the conversation too, this kind of makes sense. The conversation between him and Peter, um, they they want it to be that he's researching like maybe as part of his whole thing with his restrictor, like mutating DNA or mutating genes in
hmm,
humans as a way to kind of lead into the X-Men.
hmm,
That might make a lot of sense, actually. And then
hmm,
bringing the Jean Grey character in this movie then does also make a lot of sense.
yeah, yeah, to like slowly introduce it. I've heard people say
Yeah,
before though too that they would want they like why pick Jean Grey because that Phoenix character of Jean Grey has already been done twice now, and they
true.
said to almost get it out of the way, you have that appear in Spider-Man real quick, and then she's beyond that now. Now you can do other storylines for the Jean Grey character without the burden of the Phoenix Force, you know?
Right. Right. True. Yeah, that's a good point too. They kind of get that because they've kind of done that storyline like twice really in the X-Men movies
Mm-hmm.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, and then there was something else related to all that.
Did you
Shoot, I
see?
can't remember.
Do you remember the thing that I told you about the uh, theory of the building that Hulk's falling out of being Oscorp?
Yeah.
So supposedly there was a Lego set that was released, and it was the DODC, right?
Yeah.
DODC,
Yeah.
yeah,
DODC
DODC
building. Yep.
building, and
Yeah.
they even have Hulk falling out of it. So there you go. Oscorp's
Yeah.
probably not appearing, but it'll be
Yeah, it's
DODC.
not the Oscorp.
But then
The
they
one
said that
thing,
there was a thing in the Spidey Tracker
mhm,
website that I think it was on the Spidey Tracker website that it was a video. It was that same video of Hulk falling out because it was like tracking where Spider-Man was, and one of them was
yeah.
the fight with Hulk, and they had that video, but it looks like Hulk is gray.
Oh,
Like the
yes, I did
green
see, I
isn't as
saw that.
vibrant.
Yeah. Yeah, which makes you think that the Grey Hulk thing is actually happening and they're just disguising it in the trailers to make
Hmm.
you think that it's not Grey Hulk.
Yeah, which
Um,
that 100% could see them doing that.
did you see though the other one that I saw with Tom Holland again with the potential spoilers? He which is why we really should be trying to get him on the podcast.
Hmm.
But he he was doing some interviews and he was talking about the villain, who the main villain is, and he said how kind of like it being unprecedented. It's not like anyone we've done in one of these movies before. It could lead
Hmm.
to it being Jean Grey,
Hmm.
um, but it could also lead to it being like somebody that
Yeah.
nobody's even considered. I read some things recently that said could there even be things in that the villain actually leads to something in Doomsday, something Doomsday related, like ties
Hmm.
in somehow like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was gonna say maybe a different universe villain, but it was done in literally the movie before. So
Yeah, yeah, that would feel like overkill.
yeah, yeah. Because I
What
was gonna
if
say
it's
maybe that would be
a
like the incursion happening, or
yeah?
I don't know.
What if it's a variant of Toby's Spider-Man that's bad?
Mm,
I don't know. I don't know if I
hmm. It's like
believe that.
when Doc, right? It was Doc Ock that took over Spider-Man. I think that was Spectacular Spider-Man that was.
Yeah. And then the other thing I was thinking of was, did you see the scene? This was in the commercial where he's fighting Scorpion, and he refers to him as you really want to do this, Scorpion. I think it's the way he puts it, and he laughs. Scorpion laughs and says, "Oh, you think I'm Scorpion?" Which suggests that at that point, Scorpion's being mind controlled by Jean Grey
Yeah,
to fight Spider-Man. So that was an
yeah.
interesting little tidbit too. I think in the commercial that gave something up that wasn't in the trailer. That was not part of the trailer. So they are giving little kind of
I wonder, like the
things like
prison
that.
fight scene, if that's gonna be because you know in the first trailer where Spider-Man goes and gets the tank, and it's the old woman in it,
Hmm.
and then she like mind controls into somebody else, and like is switching bodies. That looks like
Yep.
that's in the prison, right? I wonder if the
I don't think that's
prison.
in the prison, is it?
No, well, I was thinking because it's jumping and it's like
Oh yeah, yeah,
surrounded, like multi like level, and it's like
yeah. And the
it
first
kind
guy
of
that
looks
it
like it
goes
could
to
be
is
in
a
a
guy standing with a gun or
yeah.
something. Yeah, that could
I
be. You
wonder
could
if
be
that's
right.
in the prison, and I wonder if like that's the prison break, right? But I wonder if the reason behind that is going to be like even the hand, if they're going to be mind controlled by,
Right.
I assume Jean Grey, and it's going to
Yeah.
be like her using these other guys as pawns to
What
try to get Spider-Man.
What if the prison break isn't anything to do with Spider-Man? What if that whole scene that you're talking about is the prison break? What
Mm,
if it's because the Punisher wants to break Matt Murdock out of prison and Jean Grey is helping him do that? And Spider-Man's fighting it because, well, why are these people taking a tank and trying to?
hmm. Yeah, why
And
are they
that would
trying
also
to break?
explain why Frank is following Spidey when he's chasing the tank
Yeah,
and trying to stop him from chasing the tank. You
yeah,
know that.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll see. That's I haven't heard that theory anywhere, but that could be.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I could see that lining up. Something along
yeah,
that, at least.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's coming closer too. We're almost into July, so it'll be here before we know it, and then it will be Christmas time. Right
Yeah,
after that comes Christmas time. So
which
get
is a
ready for
good.
it.
That's a good segue into Doomsday.
Yeah,
Um,
that is. So Merry Christmas. It's Doomsday.
yeah. The the did I send it to you? The rumors of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man wearing the classic Iron Spider,
Yeah.
but they said that it would be Doc Ock that makes it because he went back to his
Oh.
universe and was like good. He was
A good
cured.
guy, right? Right. And he saw
So
the Iron Spider suit
the
from
nano, yeah,
yeah, so he probably was like, that's
he
a
even
good
made that
idea.
comment of like nanotechnology. You about done yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's a really good especially if so he goes back to his timeline and is good.
Hmm.
Toby goes back to much later, however many years later that Toby was when he got pulled out of his timeline.
Hmm.
So there was all that time in between for Doc Ock to develop that technology for Peter.
Hmm.
That's it.
Because
Yeah,
I
that's
because I heard that the opening scene is going to be the Toby universe. It's going to be, they said, Deadpool and Wolverine fighting them, but
right.
they said it was going to be Spider-Man, Doc Ock, and Green Goblin. Which is, I mean, if that's true, that would be pretty crazy to have
Yeah,
that be like
yeah,
your opening scene.
yeah.
But that, yeah, they said it was going to be in the Iron Spider costume, and then
Ah,
they pull Peter right before the universe is collapsing, and he ends up in the TVA.
wow, that would be amazing. That would
And
be
I, but
amazing, and it would.
couldn't you see that happening though, where it's like that scene, and then it's them pulling him into the TVA, and then that's like Avengers title card,
Right.
like something
Yeah.
like that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah. Um, so then there was some other Doomsday stuff. Well, yeah, we already talked about that. Never mind.
Last
One of
last week was Father's Day, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I didn't miss it then because we recorded early, so that's why we didn't talk about it. The Robert Downey Jr. thing that he posted.
Oh, I didn't see
Did
it.
you see
What?
that? He had posted something where it was Doctor Doom, and it was saying, oh, what was it? It was something about Father's Day, and it was like Doom Dad or something like that. Doom's Dad
Uh,
or something like that.
uh,
And it was a picture, like a kid drawing of Doctor Doom, and then it was like a little kid with like heart balloons or something like that.
oh,
And so people are like, wait, so does Doctor Doom have a kid in this
or
movie?
yeah.
Is that the reason for like his motivation? Maybe he has a kid and his universe collapses and kills his kid, or
I've read that before that or heard that
people had
before
said the
that.
whole thing of you remember in Multiverse of Madness, dreams are windows to another universe,
Yep.
and they were saying in Infinity War, Tony says, "I had a dream. It felt so real. We had a boy, and we named him
No.
after your eccentric uncle." No, he says a
What?
boy.
He did say a boy?
Hmm.
Huh.
And he
That's
said that
interesting.
they
I
named him
forgot that.
Morgan.
Morgan, which they named
Yeah, they ended up
the daughter
naming the
Morgan,
daughter.
but
But they were saying,
right.
is that the universe that he was
Huh.
peeking into? Is
Right.
Doom, and he is a
Right.
variant of Tony, and that's
Right.
like
Right.
maybe the connection between Infinity
That's
War,
you know
Endgame, and
that
Doomsday.
that's an interesting call out though because I hadn't thought of it of that scene in that context, because I always thought of it as oh, well he was kind of because I had forgotten too that he said a boy, so I'm thinking like, oh, he just he predicted or he saw the future of
Hmm.
what would happen because they did end up having a kid and it was
Named it Morgan.
named it
Yeah.
Morgan, so yeah that yeah that's a great catch there, and I
Hmm.
mean. The thing is, like stuff like that in Marvel movies that you just kind of bypass and don't think anything of, they're always thinking those 10 steps ahead.
Hmm. And I
So
think sometimes it's
wouldn't
not always
surprise me.
that they like set it up like, oh, we're definitely going to follow up on this storyline, but they
Right.
put it there so that then they could reference it if they want to. And if they don't go
Right.
back and reference it, it's exactly that. It's, oh, yeah,
Right.
we thought it was a boy, ended up having a girl, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it.
Oh, well. Yeah. The other thing though that came out this week that you sent me this was that leak of Vision Quest and basically the full
Hmm.
plot and I don't think we're going to go through the whole thing. It's very spoilery.
Hmm.
So if you don't want to be spoiled about Vision Quest, like, stop listening now, but don't stop listening now. Um, but there were some really crazy things in that, and if it if they do everything in that suggested, and if you want to really like know the details, I just Google it, you can find it, I'm sure. um that that series is going to be crazy. That series is going to be
Hmm.
crazy good, I think, because of, well, first of all, the characters that they're bringing into it, and I don't think it's any surprise they're bringing Ultron back.
Hmm. So
And
what I wondered though was, do you know when Vision Quest is coming out?
I believe it's coming out in like August or September. I thought it definitely
Is
comes out
it?
between
Before
Spider-Man and
Doomsday?
Doomsday.
Okay. Because that
Yeah.
was going to be my
um
thing, was some of the stuff that they were saying, it was like that would be the setup to Doomsday. So,
right. Well, that.
again,
Yeah.
spoiler, the ending of it, how it said that it was going to be essentially Vision gets back all of his memories, and was
Right.
it, they said Billy tells him Wanda's still alive,
Yes. Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
would be the
And
setup of how Wanda ends up appearing in Doomsday then.
right. And the other thing is they find Tommy in it too, because if I don't know if you
Hmm.
watched the Agatha series, but at the end of that, he's looking for his brother.
Hmm.
Um, so and supposedly Tommy shows up in it before Billy does, I think, if I remember correctly. But the
Hmm.
other interesting thing is they said that Pepper is
Yeah,
also, I guess, trying to work with Vision or help Vision, and there are, I think, did they say that there are flashbacks with Tony in
with
them?
Tony, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
and
the only thing I
two,
wonder though. Is Gwyneth Paltrow showing up? Are they willing to pay her to show up for something like that? Would they have her show
yeah,
up?
maybe
Or would she appear as just like, you know, text showing up on the screen of her like typing in
right,
to Vision or something like that,
right,
you know?
right, yeah. Well, the other, because I've looked at the and a lot of this, if these aren't true, so be it, right? Um,
Hmm.
but also a lot of these, if they are true, they clearly are intended to be surprises because if you look at the current cast list on, I think, IMDb, they don't list Gwyneth Paltrow. They don't list. They also mentioned in that thing that you sent me, two characters that were Agents of Shield characters, Simmons, Fitz, and Simmons,
That would be a weird
and
thing to make up though, too.
right,
You
right,
know?
yeah. Why would
Like
you
that would be
but
such a random
supposedly,
add-in to have it
yeah,
not be true almost, you know?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because they also said that it's going to feature the AIs, all the other AIs that Tony created, but as actual people, which I'm kind of confused by that, except I think it's like they said a lot of it happens in like kind of like, you know, inside of a computer, more
Kind
or
of like
less.
Tron almost.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, Ultron is gonna is gonna look like James Spader,
Hmm.
and Friday is gonna be in it as a person. So yeah, that's got to be like that. But the thing also said how again Pepper's working with them, and she has those two Agents of Shield characters who are now part of Sword, I guess, according
Hmm.
to the leak, and they're helping. Again, a lot of that would kind of make sense because Sword was in the WandaVision series. They were the ones,
Hmm.
trying to fight what was going on in WandaVision. So it would kind of
Oh,
make sense.
and that made me think of the other ending part where they said that what he moves to Wisconsin
Yeah,
and
Wisconsin
his
and
neighbor's Quill,
yeah,
who's working for
yeah,
Sword then, which that
right,
would again set up, or not set up, that would complete the promise of Star-Lord will return.
right, true. Yeah, what did they refer to him though? Not just Star Lord, but
Yeah,
I
the
don't know.
legendary Star-Lord.
The legendary Star Lord
Yeah.
will return. Yeah, so that's true.
And that
That
would
would
be a
pay
good
off that
setup
as
of
well.
that he's working for Sword too, because then it's not, he could show up when something's needed because he's working for Sword, but he's not
Right,
tied to Guardians anymore.
right, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So that but there were also some things suggesting outside of that whole thing. This was like separate from that whole basically, complete leak of the plot.
Hmm.
That talked about that there also may be some things that are set up in this that are like being set up for Doomsday. By the way, October 14th is when it premieres, so that's timeline wise. That's right around the time.
And that's also
You
after
know,
the Endgame re-release too.
also
Something to
true.
think
Yeah,
about
which
there too.
did you read the thing? And I forget what they said it is, but it's like the title for it is going to
Oh
be
yeah, it was like Endgame Encore, I think.
Encore, or yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and they did confirm there are going to be, additional scenes in it that are going to tie into Doomsday, which I hope it's not. I hope it's not an attempt to retcon things in Endgame so much that they take away some of the meaning of it. Like there were
Hmm.
some suggestions that, you know, there were some weird, really crazy suggestions with like Tony, and Tony's actually doesn't die, but he's put in some kind of like frozen state, and that kind of thing, and that ends up becoming Doom. That would be really kind of weird, I
Yeah,
think, and it would take away from Endgame.
like
I hope
that
if anything, it's
sacrifice of
stuff
it.
related.
Yeah,
Yeah, I hope if anything, it's stuff related to Cap and what happens with him when he goes, back to return the stones.
yeah.
um, if they did anything like that. Uh, but yeah, but I will be interested to see that though. If there are some things in the Vision Quest series that that are setups for Doomsday as well, because
Mhm.
they talked about like the Doctor Doom character basically combines like magic and science, and so like advanced robotics could definitely be part of that. I mean, especially if he's using the Sentinels from the X-Men universe, or if he's controlling the Sentinels from the X-Men universe. um
Mhm.
maybe that would make sense. Maybe Ultron and or Vision will come into play there.
Yeah, yeah.
So lots of side. It's funny because every week I think, well, there won't be anything like really new about any of
Hmm.
this to discuss next week. But I think we're at the point where there's going to be new stuff every week. At some point, we're going to get an actual Doomsday trailer, other than the little short like trailers that they had out a couple
Yeah,
months back. So that'll be there, and then we're going to be right into it with Brand New Day and all that. So
yeah,
lots to
yeah.
talk about.
I still think that the Doomsday trailer will come out in time for Spider-Man. I feel like they're gonna play that before Spider-Man.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
nothing else, for sure before the Endgame re-release.
Yeah, yeah, it would be crazy if they had it. I mean, it would make a lot of sense if they had it in, with uh the Endgame re-release.
But
What
that
and
you're
when is
talking
that?
about
That's
September,
September, so
so
that's
that
that's
would
a little
leave you
ways
like
off.
what, 3 months? 3 months
Yeah,
before
could
the
be
actual
though. I
movie
mean,
comes
think
out.
of think of how recently the Spider-Man trailer actually came out. You
Ah,
know,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
so that could make sense. We will see. All right. Well, that's our episode this week. Hope you liked it, and make sure you check out our other episodes this week, which have nothing to do with Marvel, but are just as entertaining, even if Brandon doesn't think they are. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,